How to become your most fearless, sexy, bold, courageous self, because you are. We all are. We have it within us to become fearless, sexy self. And in this video, I'm going to share with you why I think it's so important that we learn to overcome our fear so that we can live the life that we desire. Because this one thing, fear, is what holds us back from going after the things that we want. For example, maybe you think you're too old to start something new. I know I've told myself that many times in the past. Maybe you think that you're not smart enough to go after that high-paying job, to start that side hustle. Maybe you think that you don't have the skills. So many of us let fear hold us back. Maybe some of us want to travel somewhere, but we don't have someone to travel with, so we let that hold us back because we are afraid. We let fear dictate the trajectory of our life. But when we live like this, when we're constantly living in a state of fear, of trying something new, of doing something new, guess what? This is not living. It really isn't. This is just existing. Maybe for some people, they may be okay with living in a certain way where they're not challenging themselves, pushing themselves. But I know for some of us, including myself, we have that fire in our soul that we want more. We don't want to just exist and live and survive in our life. We want to thrive, because I truly believe that this is our purpose as humans in this world: to evolve, to grow, to overcome our fear, to push ourselves to see what we can achieve. And we can, you can. True magic in our life happens when we learn to overcome the things that make us afraid. And I've realized that sometimes we have to move towards the direction of what we are afraid of. That's like an indication. Hey, you're scared of this. You fear this. This is where you are going to grow the most if you learn to overcome this fear that you have. And of course, I'm not saying go and do something stupid, put yourself in danger, harm yourself. No, I am talking about things where you can grow, evolve as a human being without harming yourself. And so many of us, because of the society that we live in, we've been brainwashed to live in a state of fear. Just open the news, open social media. You're flooded with negative news constantly. And in this video, I want to share with you some of the things that you can do to become your most fearless, sexy, badass self, because you are. My first point is to change your mindset, change what's going on in here. I always say our world out there is a reflection of what's going on in here. And I truly believe in this. In order to overcome fear, to become your most fearless self, you really need to start believing in yourself more. Let go of the limiting beliefs that you have told yourself. Start unlearning all the things that make you afraid of doing the things that you want. Oftentimes, we really need to question, what is it that we are afraid of? Is it a real threat or danger to you? Or do you think it's something that you've learned over the years that society has told you to be afraid of? For example, if you are walking down a dark alleyway at night alone, of course, this is a danger to you. It's a threat. You may be at harm. Of course, this is something that we need to fear, right? But ask yourself this question. What is it that you are afraid of? Is it a real threat? Or is it something that's maybe in your head that maybe if you actually started, it won't be as bad as you thought? Because most of the times, it's that first step that we need to take to overcome our fear. It's not as bad as it is. I'm sure you've done something in the past where before you've done it, you were so afraid, you have anxiety, you've built up so much stress. But once you've actually done it, you look back and you think, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was. And this is what fear can teach us, that we need to take it heads on. Maybe you are afraid of leaving a toxic relationship because you are afraid of being alone. This is something that I know many of us can relate to. We get so comfortable in a relationship. We like being with someone, but maybe deep down we know that this relationship is not right for us, that someone's not treating us right. We're putting up with BS, but we don't have the courage, we don't have the balls to leave because we're afraid of being alone. Sometimes our worst enemy is the inner critic in our head who tells us that we are not good enough, that we're not pretty enough, that we are not smart enough, and we need to shut it down. You are good enough. And you can do this. You have that fearless woman inside you. You just need to unleash her. The next thing is to ask yourself this question. Do you feel like you are just existing in this world on your day-to-day life going by? Do you feel like you're actually living or existing? I know so many of us, including myself, I do this time to time as well, and I have to remind myself. We get used to living in the daily comfort, day in, day out. We have our routine, eat, sleep, and everything in between. You know what I mean? Every day is the same. We're not pushing ourselves. There's no newness in our life. We're not challenging ourselves. For me, this means we're just existing. Ask yourself this question. Are you truly living? Are you doing things that is making you feel alive? Because I think so many of us, it's so easy to just live in our comfort zone. That's our default. We want to choose what is easy. But you know what? I have found every time when I have chosen the route that is discomfort, that I'm afraid of, this is where I get the most reward. Or maybe in a relationship situation, when you're faced with choosing if you should be with someone or not, you could challenge yourself to ask yourself this question. Are you choosing this person because you are afraid of being alone? So therefore it means you are willing to accept toxic behaviors. Or are you choosing them because you truly love them and you want to be with them? The easy route is because you are afraid to be alone. The difficult route would be to face your fears of being alone. But I've often realized that when we choose the difficult route, it may not be easy in the beginning, but I always am grateful in hindsight that I chose that difficult route, because that's what has developed me. That's what has helped me grow strong, badass. I encourage you to challenge the choices that you make. Are you doing it because it's easy, because it's comfortable? And if you're happy with that, you know what? You do you. But I know so many of us, we desire more. We want something great. The third thing I want you to remember, in order to become your most fearless, badass, sexy self, because you have it inside you, we're going to get her out slowly but surely, is to start living life on your own terms. What does this mean? Fearless women are not women who are going to go along with what's expected of them from society. No. Fearless, bold, strong women live life on their own terms. What does this mean? It means so many of us, we've been brought up to believe so many traditions and cultural expectations especially as women, we've been told that we need to get married by a certain age, have babies by a certain age. We need to do this, wear this clothes, do that, don't do this. The list goes on, right? So much expectations. A fearless, bold, courageous woman, she's not going to care about what she should be doing. It's so important. You know, one of the things that I've had to learn is to question everything about what I've learned and to unlearn a lot of things that I've been told from a young age about who I should be, who I should become, what I should wear, what job I should get, where I should live. F you. All of these things I've had to unlearn and figure out what feels right for me. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to question what you've been learning for all these years and understand that you don't have to be anything you don't want to be. Society may tell you that you need to be like this, get married by a certain age, have a relationship. You know, so many of us may have had pressure from our families to start a family, to get a conventional job. Maybe we don't align with. If it doesn't feel like it's right for you, becoming fearless means to know how to stand up for yourself, to have your own voice and not fall into the trap of following what everyone else is doing. It means to freaking stand out and not be afraid. Be weird. You know, I think weird is freaking attractive. Being normal is overrated. The weirder, the better. So long as, of course, you're not doing anyone else any harm. What I'm trying to tell you is becoming fearless means that you're not afraid to go against the grain. You're not afraid to go against the expectation of society because you understand that you are an individual, you're a human being, and you're not a robot. It means your needs, your wants, and who you want to be is going to be different to everyone else's, and that's okay. You're on your own journey, and you'll figure out what's best for you, and that's what it means to become fearless. It means you're not someone who's just going to go ahead and do what everyone else is doing for the sake of it to fit in. No, you are going to be you. You're not going to care what people think about you because you are fearless. So long as you're not being rude and horrible to people, if they don't like you for who you are, you can just say, well, that's their problem, right? So the next point is to understand that, you know, no one is actually born with this innate confidence and resilience to become fearless. This is something that we learn over time. So what does this mean? This means that becoming fearless, becoming your boldest and sexy and confident self, it means you can learn to be this person that you want to be. Even if it means you are shy right now, even if it means that you are scared about a million things, it means once you take that step of overcoming fear of the things that you are afraid to do, you will build the confidence to take on greater challenges. And you will realize that actually the world is working in your favor. You will start thinking like, whatever I do, it is working for me, not against me. Whatever is happening in the world is working for me, not against me. You will start trusting yourself. You will start believing in yourself. And that's what it means to become fearless. I think, for example, so many of us may fear to travel solo when we want to wait for someone, wait for a partner or a relationship before we take on these challenges. I know I've met so many women, they say, if only I had a partner, then I can go travel here, go and do this and go. If we think like that, we're always going to live in a state of waiting. What if that person never turns up? that means you're holding yourself back from living the life that you truly desire. And becoming fearless means you take heads on, regardless of who's with you or without you, you're going to do it. And by doing it, you will start believing yourself. And when you start doing the small things step by step, it doesn't have to be anything big. You can start small. Think of something small that you're afraid to do. Maybe it's signing up to a course that you think that you are not good enough. That could be the first step to overcoming your fear. Maybe it could be signing up to learning a new language. Or it could be treating yourself to eat at a nice restaurant alone. So many of us are scared to do things alone. But taking that first step, you get used to doing things alone or doing things that you are afraid of. And it's like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you start building the confidence of taking on bigger challenges. And before you know it, when once you were so scared about just going to another city alone, before you know it, you will be planning trips abroad for weeks alone. And then who knows what's on the other side, because it's always magic that's on the other side when you conquer your fears. You know, I really believe that every time I have overcome my fear and take on challenges, it is the time that has immensely made me grow and evolved. During the periods of time that I know if I've been, per se, lazy or not pushing myself as much, we all go through those periods. That is not the time that I've grown the most. It's during those times that I've pushed myself to try something new, to take on a challenge, whether that's physically or take on a challenge mentally, a project or whatever it may be. This is when I have felt the most alive. If we start thinking in a way where the universe is working in our favor, not against us, it's working for us. If we start believing like this, then we will see the results on the other side. This is what is going to make us feel alive. Isn't that the best feeling, to feel alive, to live, to thrive? Otherwise, we're just surviving. And for me, that's not a way of living. So I really encourage you to maybe take the small steps to overcome your fear. Think about the things that you are afraid of, and I hope you will take the steps that you need to overcome your fears and to realize that so long as you're not putting yourself at danger or anyone else at danger, you'll be okay. The universe has your back. And to remember that magic is at the other side of fear. I hope this video was useful. Let me know, comment below. Let me know if you have any fears that you are really struggling to overcome. And let me know if you have overcome any fears and anything that you'd like to add. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm sending you my love. I'm sorry if this video is a bit dark at the moment. It's raining outside. I hope you're doing really well. I was away for a couple of weeks and I just got back last week. I went to Colombia for a few weeks and it was a big adventure. It was lots of learning. It had challenges, but nonetheless, I completely loved the experience. It won't be my last. I hope you're all doing really well and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.